So when you have a desire, it is a natural, not just human tendency. It's what you all came here for. You didn't say, I'll go be human and I'll gather desires and I'll focus myself into alignment and I will never ask for the manifestation or the complete fruition of what I want. I don't need the realization, the actualization, or the materialization. You didn't say that. You said, that's why I am physical. I'm going to focus thoughts into things. I'm going to focus dreams into reality. How corny does that sound? I'm going to find what I want and I'm going to bring it about. You also did not say, it's going to follow any particular path and be with any particular person. You said, I'm going to focus and find desires, and I'm going to bring those desires into reality, into something that is tangible, seeable, hearable, smellable, tasteable, touchable. So manifestation's a big deal. In fact, it's the big deal that most humans want before they're even willing to consider that there's a vibrational world and that they are vibrational creators. Most people on this planet do not want to hear about vibration or about the law of attraction or about their point of attraction, even though everything about how they feel all day, every day is only about that. Most people don't want to hear it. They just want to hear, how can I get the girl I want? And how can I get the money I want? And how can I get the car I want? And we say those are very short-lived enthusiasms unless you understand how you focused and how it came to you. What you do want is a steady unfolding of something that feels better. We will say to you unequivocally, if you have focused and tried, and we can feel your purposeful focus, and it is not getting better, you don't find yourself feeling increasingly better, even though what you're really looking for is slightly delayed, then we so want you to hear this from us. If you were really doing what you're telling us that you're doing, she would have moved out of the way and somebody else would have moved in.
Well, but it's kind of like that did happen, and I felt extremely uncomfortable.
But instead, you've got enough of what's going on. You see, this is what keeps people from getting what they want. Looking at what is keeps it from getting better. And so you got a tiger by the tail. We'll acknowledge it. You've got someone who doesn't seem like she's trying hardly at all to be a cooperative component. And it's taken a lot of clarity on your part to even focus in the way that you are. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we wouldn't give up on this yet. If she calls you and says, I'm done, we'd call her back and say, I'm not. If she says, I don't want anything to do with you, we'd say, I want everything to do with you. If she says, I don't like anything about you, we'd say, I like some things about you. Yeah. See, this is the advantage that your inner being has. Your inner being knows what you've lived and what you've asked for and what's in your vortex. Your inner being knows that. And your inner being knows what the path of least resistance is to get to the fruition of what you want. And we're saying to you, this relationship is worth hanging in. Look at it this way. Look at it as win-win. But we're going to add one more win. So play with this just for a little. Win-win means you win by pointing at what you want. Yeah, I want this relationship. You win-win because your inner being is already pointed there. So when you point there, now it is win-win. You and your inner being are on the same vibrational wavelength. And you are infused with energy and clarity and enlivenment. It feels good to be in sync with your inner being about something that you have been very sure about, and you've convinced your inner being about it, and your inner being isn't as quick to bail out over this and that and this and that as most humans are. So your inner being is hanging in there with your abundance, with your physical conditions, with your relationships. In other words, when you ask, it is given. When you ask, it is given. When you ask, it is given. But you say, well, you're giving it to me in the vortex, but I don't want it in the vortex. I want it in the physical. And we say, enjoy it in the vortex. Enjoy it in the vortex. Enjoy the alignment with your inner being. Enjoy the win-win you've got with your inner being. When you focus upon the positive aspects of this girl, enjoy that win-win. And every now and again, you'll catch her at a less contradicted moment when she wins with you for a moment. And she'll be able to see what's in the vortex that you have calibrated to too. She's not wanting away from you. She's wanting relief from the confusion that she's got going on. But it doesn't have anything to do with you. It doesn't have anything to do with you.
I think she'd disagree, but...
She might say different, but Terry Cole Whitaker wrote a book many years ago. Esther didn't read the book. Because we encouraged her not to read any books. We encouraged her not to make confusion within herself about where she was getting what she's getting. But she liked the title. And the title is, What You Think of Me Is None of My Business. What you think of me is none of my business. Because what you think of me is more about what's going on with you than it is about what's going on with you and me. In other words, there's momentum that's already been in place there. So, we say we don't tell people what to do, and we don't. But we often say if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would do blah, blah, blah. And if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would do blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Can I ask something else?
Yes.
Not that much of an issue for me anymore. I'm getting a little better at gradually, after being steeped in spiritual teachings for like 15 whatever years. When I'm getting better at when something just isn't jiving, even if it's from you or someone I highly regard, that
Good.
I just
Good.
don't agree with it.
Good.
Because I consider that maybe I'm misinterpreting it, or maybe the way I'm seeing it is just serving me better if it feels better and such.
Yeah, and that goes for what just happened here.
Great. That's good to know.
You can take it or leave it.
Yeah. And I guess just this one kind of point of...
if you want to miss out on the best thing that's ever happened to you.
Oh, wow, okay.
If you don't understand that we can see into your vortex, if you don't understand that we're infinite intelligence.
Well, not offering resistance to what you just said. What you just told me about the relationship actually gave me more hope. So I appreciate that. But just in general, there's just this like kind of one idea that's thrown me for a loop sometimes. I'm like, well, I'm just going to think what I think. Manifestation in general, the whole kind of teaching of manifestation, I had a lot of difficulty with for many years doing spiritual stuff. And it was only through the conversations with God texts that I'm sure you're familiar with and many other people here are, that it really became like this rich, alive thing that I could really dabble in.
Yeah.
And
ask and receive and ask and receive and ask and receive.
Yeah, and it was just, that everything, I call forth everything in my reality, and I bring forth everything. And it talked about that in ways that made sense and were very empowering. And eventually, it basically started saying, you can't necessarily know where everything came from, what level of consciousness you attracted it from, but just accept that it's perfect. It's the perfect circumstance for the perfect growth, expansion, whatever that you're seeking.
That's a good general place to start, because you can't receive what you're not ready to receive. But you can keep asking the question and receive more and more specific answers. There is nothing that you can want to know that you do not have the ability to attract in its fullness.
So I believe that I can attract whatever it is I wish to attract. But I guess the difficulty that I kind of had was that particular idea gave me a lot of relief and peace, and able to, no matter what happened, to not be like, oh, why did I attract that? Or I need to figure out what part of me attracted that.
You know why? You know what's so good about that? Is because you cannot think your way out of things. Because if you've got a problem that you're trying to think your way out of, your point of attraction is about the problem, so the problem just keeps presenting itself to you in different ways. You cannot think your way out of it. You can feel your way out of it by seeking the relief.
Yeah, basically the emphasis was put on, don't worry about how it came about. Your main task is to just, get in alignment, to use your terms. That's your main task. Don't worry too much. But then when I heard you talking about things, it kind of activated this almost like, if this person's, I live in New York City. Suddenly someone comes and yells at me.
People think that we're schizophrenic, or that we're teaching you how to be schizophrenic, because on the one hand we say, you are a deliberate creator. Be the creator of your own reality. And then we teach the art of allowing. You get into the place where you receive it and you say, Abraham, what do you want from me? Do you want me to get specific about what I want and script it and intend it? Or do you want me to just accept that it's already done and just allow it to flow in? And we say the answer to what you do when is about whether you are in a state of resistance or a state of allowance. If you're in a state of resistance, you let it go because you're not helping yourself. If you're in a state of allowance, then you turn on the gas, you turn on the juice, and you get more specific because it's more fun. It's way more fun to be specific than it is to be general. But if being specific makes you not believe, then it doesn't feel good. And that's what the beauty of your inner being is. Your inner being knows exactly where you are on your path of least resistance. And your inner being is calling you around that resistance, over it, under it. There's no right answer. No one can write a book and say, under these conditions, do it just like this. Because the combination of the beliefs that you hold, that's why we started today with the conversation about, are you certain or are you uncertain, all the way along the way. Because how you feel really informs what you do next. If you feel negative, then release. If you feel positive, then point and point and point and point and point. It really is like that. We want to tell you a Neil Donald Walsh story. So Esther has a very good friend, a couple, and they were interviewing him for a project that they were doing. And they were in a city in Canada, and they had a book they wanted him to sign. And so they went to him and they handed the book to the Conversations with God man. And he took the book and he looked at them and he took the pen in his hand and then he looked upward for a long time. And they're thinking, he's talking to God. And he's going to write a message for us in the book. And then he said, nice meeting you here in Toronto. Love, Neil. And they realized he was thinking Toronto, Edmonton, Montreal, Quebec. Where am I? He's a good friend of Jerry and Esther's, and they had an experience with him one day where they were on the telephone and they were both complaining about an experience that they'd had with someone else for just a moment, just a brief complaint. And he was complaining to them. And then he stopped and was quiet. And then he said, but and then he spewed this stream of positive aspects about his experience. And Jerry and Esther said, really nice visiting with you. We love you. Take care. We'll talk to you later. And when they hung up, Jerry said, first we were talking to Neil, then we were talking to God.
Nice. Really cool.
Yeah.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next